You see, Albertans know about hard work. I don't believe Justin Trudeau understands Alberta. Alberta was not an easy place for people to settle. This is the tough part of North America. And it's not always easy in Canada in general to make it, and specifically in Alberta. We have a lot of extra challenges placed in our way Mother Nature has decided to put in front of us. And Alberta is a place of tremendous opportunity. It's a land with limitless potential, but it's also a land that doesn't just give it to you. You have to work for it. You have to work hard. It's not easy. There's great prosperity and abundance in fertile lands, but our producers, our farmers, have to work extra hard and innovate and overcome obstacles that nature puts in their way to get that crop off before the frost. There's an abundance of natural resources, but it's not always easy to extract them, to market them, and get them out to the world and benefit from that prosperity. So Albertans for generations have invented and innovated and tapped into that potential, creating prosperity not just for people in this province, but for all Canadians. And all Albertans have asked for, all along the way, it hasn't been a lot, all they've asked for after all that hard work, after overcoming all those challenges, all they've ever asked for is a government in Ottawa that doesn't punish them for that success. And that's what we're up against. We're up against a prime minister who puts radical activists who want to destroy the resource sector and the prosperity that it brings ahead of every person in our communities who do their best to help their neighbors. That's just wrong. But it's what we've come to expect from this prime minister, who has stated time and time again that he wants to phase out Canada's energy sector. That is his goal. He said it again when he was in Europe. He lamented the fact that he couldn't do it tomorrow morning. We need a prime minister that is proud of our energy sector and all the benefits that it provides to this country. But when we understand what the left, what the NDP and the Liberals are driving towards, all of their other actions become clear. Canadians and Albertans expect their leaders to fight for our energy sector and all the people who depend on it. But in almost 3 years in office, governments here in Edmonton and Ottawa have simply failed at that. They have almost succeeded at achieving their real agenda, which is to phase out the energy sector. Now let's go through the list. The Liberals would love us to focus on Trans Mountain, and it is an important project. And Conservatives, of course, will do everything we can to ensure that it actually gets built. But why are we where we are right now? Let's remember, before the election was even over, he was already delegitimizing and attacking the credibility of our independent, science-based approvals process in this country. He was empowering the protesters and all those who want to shut the energy sector down by saying that they had to give permission before projects could succeed. He killed the Northern Gateway pipeline, which would have brought Canadian energy to deepwater ports so we could access Asian markets. We saw Energy East gathering steam and getting support, and he brought it to a halt by imposing one of the most egregious double standards we have ever seen in this country, imposing upstream and downstream emissions on a Canadian pipeline project, at the same time not imposing those standards on any other industry in this country, and certainly not imposing them on foreign oil imports. Now we have Trans Mountain hanging in the balance, so we're waiting and watching to see what he will actually do. This is a project that has passed all of its approvals, fulfilled all the conditions, and which enjoys widespread support, not just here in Alberta, but in British Columbia as well. There's no reason for this to have come to this crisis. But make no mistake, this is part of the overall plan to kill off the energy sector, to do what those on the left have been trying to do for decades. And he does it so that he can please all those that voted for him in the last election, so he can continue to put their ideological agendas ahead of the best interests of Canadians. This is about that typical liberal arrogance, that brand, the listening to the people that sit around, that have wonderful government relations reps, but haven't had to make a payroll or haven't had to look a family member in the eye when times are tough. Now, you and I know that there's a much better way to get things done. We need to start saying yes to things. Yes to economic opportunity. Yes to the free market. Yes to free people making free decisions and building something in this province and in this country. The Liberals and the NDP have become the party of no. No to big projects that unlock new markets and bring jobs and opportunities to all. No to the dozens and dozens of First Nations communities that want to partner in the success that so many others have been able to enjoy. They've said no to the kind of big nation-building ideas like Energy East that would have brought this country closer together, bringing Western energy to Eastern markets, creating jobs and opportunities all along the way, and displacing imported oil from other foreign markets. And you know, I gotta tell you, it drives me crazy when I see groups of these protesters breaking the law, often funded by political organizations around the world, fighting against job-creating projects in Western Canada. But I don't see them lining up and down the St. Lawrence protesting tanker after tanker full of foreign oil coming from places like Saudi Arabia or Algeria. Instead, the instability and the lack of confidence created by the policies here and the provincial government in Alberta and the federal government in Ottawa have driven away investors, closing the door on future plans for projects that would create jobs and help Alberta's oil to get to the people who want to buy it. The failure of the Trudeau and Notley governments in Edmonton and Ottawa to lead and to fight for one of the most important pillars of Canada's economy has been made a mess, and only Conservatives can fix it.